Hello friends, now let us take up the concept number 4, 14.4, various types of conversions, mainly using methods. Now, here I am giving some examples and you understand their functionalities. Thereafter, I have given 2 program demos. You work out the demos. Simply listening, you may not own that. That is why after listening it, without seeing my program and you write your program. So, if you write program on your own, you will be good at syntax. That is very important. Where you get doubt, nobody can tell except yourself. That is why if you write code, simply seeing my program and if you type it, you may become a typist, but you may not become a programmer. So, here one thing I am telling you, understand the concept, yeah, and its use, thereafter syntax. All 3 elements are equally required. After understanding this, you write a test program to use that simple thing, but you must remember the syntax. If you do not remember the syntax, there may be 2 problems. You may write syntax wrongly, then it leads to bugs, you have to waste your time. And number 2, for every element, if you refer the book or a system library, it will also waste your time. But how you can register that? Now you understood the element, you know the concept, and I am explaining the syntax here. Now you write a test program on your own. Then while writing, where you have to get doubt, there only get doubt. That is the immediate probe. Then instantly you can find out a solution, what is the correct thing, and once you write a program and get the result, and you may not forget it very easily. This is also one of the techniques to remember things. By application only, by writing application only, you can remember the syntax. It is not a by hearting stuff. Once you drive the car, then you can know the techniques in that. It is not explained in the classroom. Okay, that point you remember and learn these things. First thing is int to integer object, not only integer object, other objects also I am showing. So, primitive to wrapper class objects, converting a primitive value into corresponding wrapper class object. That procedure we will learn. Int A5, now integer, int object, new integer A, this A we are giving. Then what happens? Then this is converted as 5, like this. Of course, you cannot see that, you must believe that it is wrapped. And second one, long value, and always this is a good practice. Actually, if you write like this, a system by default treats it as integer value, that means 4 bytes. If you want to make it 8 bytes, you must suffix this one L, uppercase or lowercase, always uppercase is better, because it is quite readable. Lowercase is quite confusing. And one more thing I am telling you, in font wise, 1 and L, lowercase l are alike, lot of confusion is created. That is why try to avoid lowercase l, I, lowercase l are not readable. That is why wherever it is possible, instead of using lowercase l, use uppercase l. Uppercase l is quite readable. So, always it is a good practice. So, then 12,345 is the long value that is stored in C, then you are giving it here. Then what is happening? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12,000, it is created as long type wrapper class object. Next, this is float value, and float, if you do not give that, it leads to error. Why it leads to error? The default floating point type is double, not float. That is why automatically it is stored in 8 bytes. Now you want to store it in float, means 4 bytes. How it is possible? Actually, system defines its size as 8 bytes by default. You want to store it in 4 bytes. How it is possible? That is why it leads to error. That is why what we have to do, this is mandatory. Here you have to make it F. Here one thing is there, if you do not mention also, Java puts it in 4 bytes, you want to put it in 8 bytes. So that is possible, no error will come, but it is always a good practice that I want to treat this value as long. That is always good, whether error occurs or not. So, but this case is different. If you do not put F uppercase or lowercase, then it leads to error. Always remember, it is a common error committed by many people. That is why many programmers, instead of using float, they use double. Double means this suffix business is not there. Okay. Then what is happening? Then this is converted as float type wrapper class object, that is 1, 2, 3. It is wrapped. Thereafter double. Now we are not suffixing anything like a D and all that. So by default it is double. So you want to, that means it is stored in 8 bytes. You want to store it in 8 bytes. Then there is no issue, no problem. Then 1.234. This is wrapped like that. And one more point I have to tell you here. Always I have given, in all cases I have given variables. It is not compulsory. If you want to give literals, you can give. Now if you want to give 5, you can give 5, but if it is byte or short, if it is a byte class or short class, already I explained to you, you must typecast it only for byte and short. So you can write 5 here, you can write this one here, then L is compulsory, understand, and float this one you can write here, F is compulsory, that you can write here, and this literal also you can write here. Option is there. So that point also you must remember. You should not feel if some literal is given, you should not treat it as a wrong statement. So all possible alternatives you must learn. Otherwise, somewhere whatever you do not study, you may feel it may be wrong. That is why I am telling you, until unless you study at one point of time, by default you cannot get it. It is a not matter of common sense. Understand, one time you have to work on that. Next, this is the thing. In this way, a primitive literal or variable is converted into corresponding wrapper class object. Thereafter, type value method. Type is a general word. Actually, if it is a byte, byte will come. It is a int, int will come. Long will come. Just to simply understand a type. Type, it is applicable to all. Now simply seeing that, you can understand. So same values, whatever values I have given, I am using it. Now you see, int e, int object, int value. Actually, int object, int value is a instance method, and it unwraps the value. It unwraps the value whatever is int object. Okay. So int object's value is unwrapped by int value method, then that primitive is created, that is stored here. So each value is 5. Next, the same procedure, long object. What is the long object? Here, and dot long value. This is also instance variable, and then that is stored here, and next one same float object that is unwrapped, and original primitive float is created, that is stored in G. G's value is this, and next in the same way double object is unwrapped, and 1.234 is stored in H, and the H value if you write, you can get that one. Now, other two string method. Two string method convert a variable, a primitive variable into a string, either primitive variable or primitive literal into a string. That procedure also we see. Same values, I am taking same values. Now you see that E value I am taking. These are two string classes belong to, these are static methods. These are static methods provided by the wrapper classes. Simply seeing the syntax you must understand. Now we see these are instance methods, because I am using instance means object. So, instance methods. How can you understand these are static methods? Here instance is not there, class name is there, integer is the wrapper, one of the wrapper class name. Integer dot true string, what you have given? E have given. What is E? E is a primitive 5. Now 5 we are giving, and what it is doing? String S1. It is transforming primitive 5 into a string. See this format. Next, same way S2 long F I have given. This is 12,345, that is transformed as a string. Transform, you must believe it, physically this one and this one look alike only, but because of this operation you must understand that it converted as a string. In the same manner, this one is see 1.23, that is float value, it is stored in G and it converted in string, it transformed like that. Thereafter double value you see 1.234, and that is stored in S4, then actually that is transformed as a string and stored in string S4. Actually, if you want to have a proof, now this 5 is there. Actually, printing both are alike only. This is unwrapped chocolate. This is like unwrapped chocolate. This is like wrapped chocolate. What is the difference? With unwrapped chocolate, you can consume it, you can eat it, but in this case, until unless you unwrap, you cannot eat it. Okay. So, if you want to test it, then simple thing, if you make an operation on that, on this into 2 you make, into 2 you make, you get 10. If you make into 2 and all that, it does not work, because it is wrapped chocolate. So, no operation is allowed except string oriented operations, other arithmetical operations are not allowed. That is why it leads to error, that point you must remember. So, in this manner you have to learn and write a simple program.